Yeah, hi folks. Now, in my opinion, a bank's business is about paying depositors interest on their money and then lending their money to other people at a higher interest rate and nothing else. Certainly not politics, but not so according to the BNZ.
News emerging, and I've been getting emails and messages from people that one large trading bank, under the guise of being part of a loose agreement amongst financial institutions to pursue net zero or kind of, anti-climate warming policies, has been saying to customers who run or associated with the retailing and distribution of fossil fuels, that they will not lend them any more money, and they wish them to have paid back any loans they have by 2030. That is within 6 years. This being because this bank, the Bank of New Zealand, a subsidiary of the NIB in Australia, which has recently been at the centre of claims of, criminal activity basically in banking. BNZ has apparently been doing this. I wasn't sure if it was anything more than an urban myth. But during the course of the show yesterday, I think it was, we get a message from our next guest. And it's Leanne, I think, or Leanne Pilgrim from Matakana. And Leanne joins us now. Leanne, how are you? Thanks for coming on this morning.
Good morning, Sean. You're welcome. How are you?
I'm real good, thank you. Look, tell us about your connection with fossil fuel retailing.
Okay, so my family have owned a petrol station in Matakana for 41 years, and I manage that petrol station for them.
Yep.
We have a landlord who banks with the BNZ.
Yep.
And he came to us a few months ago now and just loosely told us that the BNZ, he had gone to use the petrol station as collateral, I believe. And they told him that they basically were not going to be lending any money towards petrol station purchases in the future, and that he had to have his loan that he had with them paid back within 7 years. And I have an email here from him, and the bank said to him in this email, commencing April 2024, BNZ's strategy/view on the oil and gas sector has changed, and that moving forward we are no longer able to provide any new lending to petrol stations or rely on security and income generated by the way of petrol stations held as security. And any existing loans to petrol stations will be phased out over the next 7 years.
Wow.
And so he has now refinanced with Kiwi banks who have had no issues.
Oh, bloody good on him. Now, so your family been managing or leasing the land that the station's on, or the station itself off him for 41 years?
Yes, so we owned the land and building up until about 10 years ago. And then the landlord purchased that from us.
Okay, you'd be coming up busy time of the year, wouldn't you?
Very busy time of the year, yes.
Yeah, good on you. It's a lovely spot. Okay, my question then is, what about your business and your family? You're also in the same game. Do you bank with the BNZ?
No, we don't, thankfully. Ironically, I did work for them for a short period back in the 90s. But no, I don't. We're not associated with them other than our landlord banking with them.
And if you're a normal gas station, you're doing a lot more than selling gas. In fact, a major part of the business is convenience, coffees, stuff like that as well. Cigarettes, dare I say?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's all a big part of it. We also, because we're an independently owned petrol station, we belong to
You're a gull, aren't you?
Yes, we're a GAL. Yeah, we belong to a company called Red Circle Management, and it was a company set up in the 90s for independent petrol stations. So they're effectively a buying group for us.
Yeah.
Now, we received an email from the cooperative manager back on the 11th of November, and he states in here, many of you will be aware of the recent policy changes at some of the major banks regards to lending related to fossil fuel projects. One of the members of our Red Circle group has managed to get the attention of an MP, and I don't know who that MP is, that is keen to at least highlight to the government the impacts of the bank policies are having at ground level. These policies impact fuel and LPG businesses all over New Zealand, and it will have a negative impact on the consumer.
Yeah, well, it's cancellation. It's commercial cancellation. And I think, and we asked the Bankers Association to talk about this. Nada, can't talk about individual stuff. I want to talk about the one thing. Hopefully Roger Beaumont from the Bankers Association grows a pair on this and fronts for us next week. We tried to talk to BNZ and they wouldn't talk, but they're happy to front to say that they've changed their mind about not providing banking services to a dildo shop in Tauranga. Did you know that?
No.
That was a big story in the last week. There was some sex shop run by two women in Tauranga and they weren't going to offer banking services because they felt all icky about it. And their chief executive came out yesterday and said, oh, no, we got that one wrong. Happy
yeah,
to...
I heard yesterday too. Is that the same thing with the Glory Vale?
Yeah. And they're doing Glory Vale. And, you know, but here's my point too. You're part of your community. The gas station is still part of the community. You're part of its holiday economy. And if electricity is not going to be the answer going into the future, Leanne, it's going to be probably hydrogen. And the infrastructure and the distribution method that you are part of can be adapted to that.
Yes. Yeah, so, currently the infrastructure is not there for hydrogen. So, and they reckon it's going to take about 10 to 20 years to build that infrastructure. So electric is sort of the stepping stone between sort of fossil fuels and hydrogen. In my point of view.
And why should you and your family be, pushed into poverty so some lanyard-wearing middle manager at BNZ can put a tick in their box at the next, diversity climate conference they have?
Yes, exactly. And where does it end? One of our staff commented yesterday, well, I work for a petrol station and I have an account at the BNZ. I put my wages into there.
Oh, because they say, we can't support that. Good point. Really good point.
So where does it stop?
Yeah. Look, I thank you so much for contacting me yesterday. And it is stories like yours, Leanne, right at the very coalface of an issue like that people need to hear, because you're where the rubber, I've done it again, rubber hits the road, aren't you?
Road, yeah. Yes, exactly.
I might be up in Matakana. I will stick my head in over the holidays. I'll stick my head in and say hi if I am.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. It'd be great to see you, Sean.
All right. Thank you so much for telling you and sharing your story with us this morning.
Yeah, now after watching that, my wife and I have decided to close our BNZ account, and we strongly urge you to do the same.